And welcome back to America Decides. Today, Republican vice presidential nominee JD Vance also made campaign stops in Michigan and Wisconsin. Our Katrina Kaufman is traveling with Vance. Katrina, good to see you there. So JD Vance is taking aim at the Democratic ticket during these stops today. I want to play a little bit of what he had to say.
This is a radical human being who comes from the far left wing of the Democrat Party. And what Kamala Harris is telling all of us by selecting Tim Walz is that she bends the knee to the far left of the Democrat Party. She's done it every single time in government. She's done it in who she selected as her VP nominee. And she will do it if the American people give her a promotion to President of the United States.
So, Katrina, Vance has been essentially going and following Harris and Walz to all of these campaign stops that they are making in these battleground states. What else did he have to say about these stops, at these stops?
Hi, Caitlin. Good to be with you. So he's really using this opportunity to go off after Harris and Walz and their records. Today, I'm actually at Wallard International, which is the factory here in Eau Claire, where he was speaking earlier. And he was talking a lot about Harris's policies in relation to the border, how she wants to decriminalize illegal immigration, how her open border policies allow drugs to come over the border. And he connected this to his own personal narrative, because he was raised by a mother who was an addict. It was a very challenging childhood, and he says that if we have policies like the ones that Harris wants, that it allows drugs to come over, and maybe if we'd had stronger borders, he would have had a different upbringing. He also criticized her on the economy. And regarding Walz, he is going after Walz and his military record. Walz spent time in the National Guard, and one thing that he's been saying is that when Walz was pushing for gun control in Wisconsin, there was an ad where Walz said that we shouldn't have, or Vance alleges that he said that we shouldn't have weapons on the street that I used in the military. Walz says the word that he used is actually carried, but what Vance is saying is that Walz is claiming that he spent time in war. He's saying, basically having stolen valor, and he's being very critical of Walz for this.
And I mentioned that Vance is kind of following Harris on these stops. They actually overlapped on the tarmac earlier today. I think we have a little bit of that exchange, if we can play it.
One, just get a good look at the plane, because hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months. But I also thought you guys might get lonely because the vice president doesn't answer questions from reporters and hasn't for 17 days.
All right, so what is the strategy here from Vance following Harris to these stops?
Caitlin, I'm glad that you showed that clip, because I think, for one, it shows that he's being even more aggressive with this strategy. For one, Harris had already set up this battleground state tour to debut her new running mate. Vance then set up all of these proximate stops. He's now going over to her plane, talking to her press pool. And here, when he was asked about this today, he said that he wants to put out the alternate narrative, that someone has to be able to tell their side of the story to the media. And something that I noticed here is that he was really focused on local media. He almost exclusively took questions from local media outlets, and I think it shows that he's really trying to make sure that he reaches the local populations here with his messaging that is in the media, along with these narratives that are coming out on Harris and Walz's tour.
All right, very interesting indeed. Katrina Kaufman on the campaign trail for us. Thank you so much.